So good morning, everyone, distinguished guests, and also our fellow GIS geo-innovators. I'm Matthew. I'm here on behalf of the Geospatial Systems Division in LTA. We're here to bring to you today AskIgnite, which is an AI-powered smart GIS chatbot that anyone can use without any training. This was built completely in-house together with the Esri suite of products, and it's meant for the everyday officer who uses GIS in his everyday work. Now, just a quick recap of what DC we're trying to share about why GIS is important to LTA. We ask this question of where across all stages of our work, across our planning, designing, building, operating, and maintaining, from our strategic planning to the tracking and design and build progress, as well as even data-driven operations and maintenance. But what if we can imagine all of the GIS data put together in one place, and you can start talking to your data? You start asking questions and getting answers instantly, which will help our LTA officers do their work faster and better. That's why we have built AskIgnite. AskIgnite, it's one super GIS app. There's all of LTA's enterprise GIS data, and all these insights available to you at your fingertips, just one prompt away. It's for everyone. It's for the starter that doesn't know much about GIS. He doesn't know what layers, doesn't know what buffers, doesn't know what spatial joints intersects are, and he only knows how to think about GIS in natural language. It's also for the seasoned GIS professional, the one who knows how to write the most complex GIS queries to get the job done. But we believe we can make them work faster and easier and less error-free as well. So there's no better tool now in LTA that we believe that translates our officers' GIS thoughts into map-based actions as fast and as convenient as AskIgnite. So why does GIS usage can seem a lot harder than it should be? These are because sometimes we have fragmented data access where data resides in different repositories, sometimes within your projects and your dashboards and your web maps. And they work very well for the use cases they were set out to design. But sometimes that data is invisible to peering projects or even at the horizontal enterprise GIS level. Let's think also about a new joiner who is very fresh to GIS and has been asked to do a task to, let's say, find hotspots along a particular road in Singapore. Now, there's a bit of a steep learning curve, and he may not even know where to start if he doesn't know what buffers are, doesn't know what road layers are, and how to join this data together on a GIS map. That's also to say that when you enter a GIS system, there's also a learning curve to realize there's a huge plethora of huge, powerful geoprocessing tools at your fingertips. But you need to know how to match which tool to which action. And also all these tools are organized within layers of ribbons, tabs, and many buttons. They can form parts of more complicated workflows that can be very daunting to a new GIS user. So that's why we're trying to shift this paradigm. We believe that AskIgnite as your new GIS assistant can make all these enterprise GIS insights available to you in just one prompt away. We want to reimagine the paradigm. Instead of interacting with buttons, ribbons, and workflows, you just simply turn GIS into a conversation. You're able to get the exact same results and insights as you would with just talking to a chatbot, and you can get this done in a matter of seconds, and even sometimes less than 1 or 2 seconds, you get an answer. So we also built AskIgnite to be really simple and easy to use. But in order to do so, we actually have to take the complexity on at the back end. When I mean this, I'm referring to we use AI and build custom tools around this to abstract the complexity away from that user. So think that you don't have to no longer write all those long database SQL queries that sometimes can be very error-prone when you're writing them. You don't have to look at your geoprocessing tools and start to know in the back of your mind which tool to match to which action. Now the AI just helps you to extract all the parameters from your natural language query, discern your intent, and just execute it seamlessly for you in just a conversation. So let's take a look at AskIgnite itself. We believe that AskIgnite can make hidden data become handy data. So it helps you surface the GIS layers in your organization that you didn't even know that you needed. So let's ask the chatbot. So I tell AskIgnite who I am and what's my problem, and it will suggest to you the layers that you need. Even gives you some advice about what supporting layers you could use, and even gives you a head start and initiate the process of your GIS workflow without you having to ask a further question. Now let's take it one step further. If you don't even know what a layer is, and you don't even know what are the buzzwords that I'm sure many of us in this room were aware of, spatial joints, intersects, left joints, right joints, all of these things, or even a multi-layer spatial query looks like, you can just simply ask the chatbot. So let's ask it again. Here I ask to see feedback along a road. It then automatically selects the layers that I need, it adds them to the map, and executes my query just with one prompt. Now I just ask for it to draw a heat map to show me the hotspots along this road. And with just a few quick, simple prompts, I know where hotspots of my feedback are, so I can optimize resources allocation to those areas for timely and responsive feedback. Now, just now, DC Vishan also talked about the commuter facilities that we are continually working on, whether it's our lift separation overhead bridges in our silver zones, or even the covered linkways and also bus shelters that are very precious to our commuters on their first and last mile journeys. And along the way, he also mentioned some of the pain points that we had in terms of project tracking. When it comes to information being in different places, but also realizing that across the different value chain, many different like planners will have their own attributes to collect about the asset, whereas someone who's operating and maintaining the asset also records their own set of data. This information has different attributes, comes in at different times, and is stored in different places. And that's a challenge we want to solve. It makes time, like the collection of that data, quite time-consuming. And actually, we want to highlight this unique feature about our assets, is that those assets that we mentioned don't actually have an address like your house. So our LTI officers often use what we call a pseudo-address, a way of describing where the asset is. Think of it as a layman description of your asset. So for example, it could look like the bridge across Bishan Road near Bishan MRT. But for us people who are familiar with GIS, that's not a real address that you can put into a geocoder. But let's see how AskIgnite deals with this. Here, I just tell the chatbot to give me a breakdown of bridges that have barrier-free access, and then show it to me in the pie chart. As you send the prompt, you notice that the chatbot already starts to create a chart visualization for you on the fly to see your data in a chart form as well. Next, I can even zoom down to show me the POB, which is short for pedestrian bridge, along that pseudo address, and ask whether it is barrier-free or not. So give the chatbot some time to think, and actually it knows to add the road line layer. It starts to look around the road that you've added, and also find the landmark that we're looking at to triangulate that singular answer of that pedestrian overhead bridge we're trying to find. And it starts to reply you and tells you what steps it took, and then tells you that this pedestrian overhead bridge that you're looking for is actually barrier-free. It's able to do all of this because we've taught the chatbot to. It's able to look at your data set and even look at the ramp availability and lift availability data and determine whether or not it's a barrier-free POB or not, even though this wasn't existing as a previous categorical variable available in your data set. This greatly helps all of our officers who are working along this value chain to deliver the results faster and better as well. So I'd just like to take us through 3 pillars that we believe has contributed to AskIgnite's success. The first thing being that we really worked very closely with our users, and we believed in heeding their requirements, adapt to their changing requirements, and also deliver very impactful features that are useful to them in their daily work. We believe also that when we talk about searching the pseudo address, it's actually very easy for us as the IT side to kind of force our users to come and use GIS the way that it is. In the initial times, it might be easy to just say, let's just use the bona fide address of an address nearby. But our goal with AskIgnite is to make GIS easy to use for everyone. So we don't want to just bring everyone up to GIS, but want to bring the GIS capabilities right to where our users are at to make it usable and effective for them in their daily work. We also believe that the use of AI and the custom tools that we built around it helps to bridge that knowledge gap and ensure that anyone, anywhere and anytime has access to GIS insights all across LTA. So with my closing, I just want to quickly share the vision that we have when we created AskIgnite. We want to reimagine the way GIS is used for every single one of our officers. No matter if our officer is an engineer in the field or an executive in a boardroom, or whether or not the person is a seasoned GIS user or just someone starting out and just learning the ropes, or whether someone is an expert with many other certifications that we have here, or even just someone exploring a use case for part of their work that could eventually turn into something much better in the future. One thing is common amongst all of these user personas is that we want every officer to be able to tap into spatial intelligence instantly to be able to answer the question of where in all the work that we do. So with that, thank you very much. This has been AskIgnite.